The theory of common ancestor is a fundamental concept in evolutionary biology that suggests that all living organisms on Earth share a common ancient ancestor. According to this theory, every plant, animal, and microorganism can trace its lineage back to a single celled organism that existed billions of years ago. One of the main arguments against the idea of a common ancestor is the lack of fossil evidence to prove the existence of such a creature. While there are fossils that show the evolution of various species over time, there is no definitive fossil that can be identified as the common ancestor of all living organisms. Another argument against the idea of a common ancestor is the complexity of life forms on Earth. The wide variety of species and the intricate design of organisms suggest that the process of evolution would not have been able to produce such diversity from a single common ancestor. Idea of a common ancestor is too simplistic to explain the complexity of life on Earth. The concept of a common ancestor is not based on solid evidence, but rather on assumptions and biased interpretations of scientific data. It relies on the theories of descent with modification and universal common descent, which are supported by speculation and extrapolation rather than rigorous scientific studies. Furthermore, the idea of common ancestor relies on the theory of natural selection. However, natural selection is not a sufficient mechanism to explain the evolution of all living organisms from a common ancestor. There are many gaps in the fossil record and inconsistencies in the genetic evidence that negates the idea of a common ancestor. Moreover, the idea of a common ancestor is based on circular reasoning. Proponents have assumed the existence of a common ancestor in order to explain the similarities between living organisms, rather than considering other possible explanations for these similarities. Additionally, the idea of a common ancestor is based on the assumption that all living organisms are related through a common ancestry. Common ancestor theory claims that all living organisms they share a certain degree of genetic similarity, which is also not conclusive. However, genetic similarities between species is to be attributed to common designer rather than a common ancestor. In conclusion, the theory is based on merely on imaginative conjecture and lacks concrete evidence to support it. Concrete facts and correct reasoning are essential for providing a solid foundation of truth and reliability. They are based on available evidence and analysis, making them crucial for scientific research and everyday decision making. Can imaginative or creative ideas replace concrete facts, details, and rationality?